We're still about a month away from Donald Trump taking back office of United States president, yet he's already making impressive lightning speed changes around various issues. He's circling immigration. He's met with various titans of business to talk about tariffs and TikTok bans. He even shook hands with a man named Jelly Roll. That is that person's actual name, Jelly Roll. Just what his mother called him when he was born. You, my beloved son, shall be named after a sponge cake. Anyway, Trump has now done the unthinkable. He's summoned the aliens.
This irrational alienophobia, while easily dismissed as quackery, raises the question, does Ben Shapiro pretend to hate aliens because he is one?
For the past 2 weeks, people have claimed to see and posted online videos of what they believe to be large floating objects throughout the United States. Apparently, drones have been spotted across the East Coast, hovering mostly around New Jersey. See, this is why I think this story is fake. Nobody, not even aliens, want to be floating around New Jersey. The only things floating around New Jersey are headless bodies and random pairs of feet.
New Jersey is the most reviled state in these United States.
But actually, some of the drones that were spotted were supposedly the size of cars and were spotted by more credible people than normal New Jerseyans, members of the Navy and Coast Guard. Back in November, the Federal Aviation Administration even issued a temporary flight restriction over Bedminster, New Jersey, the home of a Trump golf course, by the way, citing special security reasons.
You do not send civilian equipment into my active war zone. You understand that?
It's not a piece of equipment. I'm in it. It's a shoot. It's me!
The FBI asked the public to report any information related to recent sightings, while the mayors of 21 New Jersey towns wrote a letter to the state's governor demanding immediate action. And keep in mind, this must be serious because these are the same guys who let Polly Walnut strong-arm a priest to run the St. Elzier Feast procession for years.
The way it seems to break down is you spend $18 for a city permit to close down the street, charge fees to the vendors in the thousands of dollars to lease out land that you don't even own.
Well, there ain't much to talk about. It's all done through a non-profit corporation.
Well, then we heard the man himself. The reason these aliens are probably revealing themselves in the first place, yes, Donald Trump looked to the skies. No, not that time. That was him looking at eclipse without the sunglasses, which was hilarious. More recent.
Our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should.
The only way this response could have been cooler is if he said it while replicating the drones in his mashed potatoes. Well, now that Trump has come clean and pressured the administration to just come out and tell the public what's above them, well, Biden has to do something, right? Right? Here's John Kirby, the White House's National Security Council coordinator, with the official White House response.
We are being honest and transparent with the American people, George, about what we're learning. As a matter of fact, just last night, after days of going through the various tips, days of looking at analysis, days of increasing our detection capabilities, including visual observers on the ground, we assess that these drones, these aircraft people are seeing, are a mix of law enforcement drones, commercial drones, and hobbyists. We continue to see nothing that indicates a public safety risk or a national security risk.
But how do you explain why people seem to be seeing so many more of them right now?
It's difficult for me to know exactly why, George.
Well, why does it always feel like John Kirby is trying to sell me Fire Festival tickets? Even Jussie Smollett would be like, I don't believe that, dude. And here's Joe Biden himself on Tuesday telling the public there's nothing to fear.
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal. But we're following it closely.
Nothing nefarious, apparently. So far, no sense of danger. How reassuring. I've heard captains of the Titanic sound more confident. Also, the last time somebody told Joe Biden he ought not to feel danger, it was Kamala Harris standing behind him with a stiletto. The date was July 21st, 2024, and Joe Biden was about to release a letter he hadn't written dropping out of the presidential race. So I'll take Joe Biden's words with a grain of salt. Maybe there's a sweet homespun answer to these drones. I mean, consider the average age of our leaders in government. Maybe this is more of a cocoon situation than Independence Day. By the way, aliens, please take these ghouls. We don't need them. do love the fact that Wilford Brimley was like 58 in that movie, and he looks like he's 127. We'll get to more on this in just a moment. First, as social unrest escalates and crime rates climb, securing the safety of our families is more crucial than ever. Now, listen, I love the Second Amendment. I own a bunch of guns because they're awesome, but the thought of using lethal force is not ideal for everybody. This is why you need to check out Burna. Now, God forbid you shoot somebody and it turns out not to be a person you should have shot. Well, this is why you might think about getting the Burna Ungun, the non-lethal self-defense platform. Lightweight, simple to use, it uses an easy-to-load 5-round magazine. It's powered by an 8-gram CO2 cartridge. Burna launchers fire a 68 caliber chemical-filled projectile using patented pull-pierce technology, where the CO2 canister is only punctured on the first trigger pull, meaning your launcher is always at the ready. It's capable of incapacitating an attacker for over 30 minutes. It's accurate and effective at over 60 feet. It requires no permits and no background checks. It's interstate travel friendly. With Burna, you will be prepared to defend. The Burna is a safer, more sensible alternative that could potentially save lives on both sides, protecting both the user and the aggressor. Thank you, Burna, for sponsoring this video. And if you haven't yet, go check out this week's episode of Ben After Dark on Daily Wire Plus, brought to you by Burna. It's not like the Biden administration has lied to us recently. Why would we even question them?
I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Well, speaking of lies, at Monday's Hanukkah holiday reception at the White House, which was, by the way, about as Jewish as an all-you-can-eat bacon fest, that included Rabbi Biden making this promise.
It's the second Hanukkah since the horrors of October 7th. The trauma of that day and its aftermath is still raw and ongoing. I've gotten over 100 hostages out. I will not stop till I get every single one of them home. Last month, we secured a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon so residents can safely return home. I've said many times before, my commitment to the safety of the Jewish people and security of Israel and its right to exist as an independent nation state remains ironclad.
Well, Joe Biden, who called himself a Zionist at that event, by the way, is now saying he won't rest until he fixes the Middle East. That dude hasn't stopped resting since he took office in January 2021. He's been legally dead for months. He had more than a year to free the still imprisoned hostages. He has spent the last 2 months completely checked out, reading his Cheerios. It says, "Oh," and throwing darts at a picture of Nancy Pelosi. And we're supposed to believe he's now becoming an incredible negotiator. This dude could not even negotiate his own exit from the presidential race. By the way, that Hanukkah celebration also featured my favorite Biden administration Jew, Doug Emhoff, who certainly would have been on the wrong side of Hanukkah.
She comes to synagogue with me for high holiday services, and I go to church with her for Easter. I get to enjoy her mom's chili relleno recipe every Christmas, and she makes a mean brisket for Passover.
He is so Jewish. Anyway, more on our one-term pardoning machine in a moment. Let's get back to the aliens. I'm not saying these are space invaders or China spying on all of us, or maybe even the possible explanation for where Ellen Page went. But I'm also not saying it isn't. I'm saying this president has created a culture of dishonesty and opacity, making any situation seem like we're minutes away from hearing ack ack as our skin burns to the bone. So let's keep an eye on this one and hope they start recalling some of those initial scouts they sent in preparation.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?